Okay.
JavaScript, which is one of the most powerful client-side scripting language. So generally, what is a scripting language? Why we will call it as a client-side scripting language? Generally, JavaScript will place our JavaScript in our HTML code, or we will call it as a design or design code. So in which we have a separate section. So generally, whenever we are declaring our HTML, we have two sections: head section and body section. We will place our code, JavaScript code, in the head section. So under head section, we will create a script tags. In that script tag, we will place our JavaScript. Let us see what is a JavaScript, which is a JavaScript is a dynamic computer language. It is a lightweight and most commonly used as part of web pages, whose implementation allows a client-side scripting to interact with the user and make dynamic pages. It is an interpreted programming language with object-oriented capabilities. So it also supports object-oriented capabilities. So why we will call it as a client-side scripting language means which is executed at a browser level. Whenever we have a code of JavaScript, it won't hit to the server. So at the time of rendering, when you click on a button, if you have a JavaScript, that will be processed at browser level. So there is no burden on the server. Consider I have one of the web-based application. My web-based application contains two JavaScript methods. Two JavaScript methods. Say for example, thousands of users are accessing my web-based application from different locations. If they click on that, a particular button, if I call the JavaScript as a function, there is no burden to the server because that is processed at their individual browser level. So your browser level, your browser level, your browser level. Likewise for hundreds of people, their processing will be done at their browser level only. So your browser is one, so that there is no overloading of the browser, means there is no burden on the browser. Suppose, consider if I implement a code on the server side, thousands of or hundreds of people are accessing from different locations. If I click on a button, if it hits to the server, so that server is a, server will be in common in one place where every request will be transferred to the server. So it is too burden to the server for processing of hundreds of requests at a time. So in order to eliminate the burden on the server, we will split some portion of our code to the client-side implementation. Client-side implementation always taken care by our browser itself. So generally for JavaScript, we will use for the purpose of client-side validations. Client-side validation means generally before submitting a form, we will check whether they given a proper information or not. So we will provide some kind of validations. If it is okay, then only we will transfer our request to the server. Otherwise, we won't transfer our request to the server because unnecessarily so we are meshed server resources, processing capacity. All this we can avoid with our JavaScript. JavaScript is a earlier it was called as a live script, but Netscape is the founder and author for the JavaScript, then changed this name as a JavaScript because at that time Java is most popular. So that in order to get that popularity to JavaScript, they changed the live script name to JavaScript, and which is first introduced in 1995, and the basic purpose of the JavaScript will be introduced with Netscape, Internet, and some other browsers because some of the browsers may not support JavaScript and some browsers may not support old functions of JavaScript. So if they are not able to support means, then we will go with some other alternative approaches for our coding. Okay. Most of the famous browsers like IE, Opera, like Mozilla, all these things they supports JavaScript. So if few of the issues that will come in, we'll check for alternative techniques why it is not so and how to how to resolve this issue. Like we'll check some of the alternative things. ECMA specification, they gave some specifications for JavaScript language. That is nothing but JavaScript is a lightweight interpreted programming language. So we know interpreted programming language means, so it is executed line by line. Okay. So in top-down approach, after one line, it will be taking us another line. So, so that's the reason why we'll call it as a interpreted programming language, which is a lightweight means why we'll call it as a lightweight means which is processed at browser level. So there is no burden on the server, so that we'll call it as a lightweight. Okay. Generally, JavaScript is designed for working with an you know client-centric applications, or we'll call it as the network-centric applications. Network-centric means so generally which is processed at a client level. So client is nothing but through browser only we are able to receive an output, right? So I'm a client, I'm trying to accessing something, so which is processed at my web browser level. So that we'll call it as an network centric application, and which is complemented and integrated with Java. Not only with Java, with ASP.NET also we can integrate, because we are returning our you know client side code or designing code with HTML. So it is complemented to and integrated with HTML. In HTML also we can integrate. So in HTML we have a head section, body section. Under head section we will integrate with the help of our script tags, and we can say it is open and cross platform. So generally whenever we are using this one, so this will be client side. In order to portrait our web page, we can do our web page. Say for example, I'm a PHP developer, my UI design is with HTML only. Suppose I am a Java developer, my UI design is with HTML only. I'm a ASP.NET developer, my UI design is HTML only. So whatever the platform that you're chosen for your development approach, everything is designing of your web page is with HTML. So cross browser, like cross platform. The platform is different. I'm dealing with .NET, you are dealing with Java, somebody dealing with PHP. So anybody who was dealing, so we can use common things, that is the common client-side scripting, that is nothing but Java. So that we can include and we can work with different browsers, whichever whatever the browsers that we are working. Okay, so generally whenever we are using an application and web-based application, we use a JavaScript because most of the functionality will support with the dynamic web page implementation. Dynamic web page means, say for example, I have one of the website, college website. I don't have an interaction facility to the website. Just I can see the data, whatever the data that is available with the website. So there is no dynamic interaction. A static website is a website that it doesn't allows user to pass inputs to the website. That is nothing but a static website. That is for the just visibility purpose. There is nothing to do with a static kind of website. Consider if it is a dynamic website, movie portals or something. If ticket booking systems, like flight booking system or else bus booking systems, it will pass some inputs. Where is your start journey, when is your start journey, and when you want to end your journey, what is your start location, like departure, and as well as when is your arrival location. All these things will process, then automatically it provides some kind of results for us. This is nothing but a dynamic website. Means if a website allows user to pass some inputs and process that inputs and provide some kind of output, then we'll call that website as a dynamic website. So in this dynamic implementation, JavaScript plays vital role, because at this point of time only we can use all the different techniques in order to process the code at the client level. So generally, whenever we submit a form, according to the level of calling, JavaScript will be executed at the time of a button click, or at the time of link button, or at the time of load, wherever we want, that will be called. So, navigations, any other actions, implicit or explicit actions, we'll call this JavaScript. So, what was the advantage? There will be multiple advantages with JavaScript. One is less server interaction. See, why server? I'm talking server means if multiple requests are coming from multiple number of users, the one and only overburdened with our implementation is server only, because our server is placed in one place. Hundred or thousands of numbers of users are hitting at same time. So our burden element here is the server. So we should avoid such burdens. If there is a possibility, we'll apply that possibility code in client side, so that server reduces their capacity to processing our request. Say that is nothing but a less server interaction. We can minimize, we can maximize the use of client side and we can minimize the use of server. Server implementation is must and required. So it doesn't mean that we will eliminate server side code and we'll place that in client side. It may not be possible to eliminate server side code. It can be possible that to decrease the server side code, so that only the thing is you can know the you should aware of a client side scripting language. Then only we'll split some kind of logics with client side, and some part of thing will be done at server side, so that parallelly it can be processed. Less server interaction, like we can validate our input on page to the server, so that will reduce the server traffic, will save the server traffic. And immediate feedback to the visitors means, generally whenever we are dealing with the servers, if server is busy, our request takes too much time to process our request, or too much it will take too much time to process our response. So this time, because our server is busy with multiple number of users, such a kind of things which we cannot encounter with the help of our JavaScript, because we are dealing with a browser. I'm dealing with my browser, you are dealing with your browser, and some other person is dealing with their browser. There is no question of burdening of our client itself, so that we'll get an immediate response, so immediate feedback to the user and increased interactivity. So generally, whenever we are passing our input, so the processing will be done, very fast, so that it improves. If the request and response are coming just like that, means user have interest to work on it, so that which increases interactivity. And say generally mouse, hovers, keyboards, whatever the things that we are going to provide, everything will be done at the client side, so that it improves our interactivity to the client side screen. And by using JavaScript, we'll design richer interfaces. We have a layers, we have a sliders, image sliders, and drag and drop components, all these things, which provides a richer interfaces. These are the advantages with JavaScript. So we have a limitations with JavaScript that we'll discuss once we're done with some couple of programs of JavaScript. Let me start, like how to work with the JavaScript, basic example of the JavaScript. So let me take we'll check with our even with our notepad also we can do JavaScript programming. So anything will be supported with JavaScript. I mean any interface, or I can say any IDE will support JavaScript. If we have a notepad or notepad plus plus or HTML, anything. So if you have any JavaScript things, JavaScript web components, so everywhere we can do our JavaScript programming. Now let us work with our Visual Studio. I want to create a new website. I would like to name it as a JavaScript access. I want to create a new page. JavaScript examples. Here you can take a script tag under head section. So you can use type equal to text of JavaScript. You can write this one. So under this you can write our own code. Okay. Here what I'm writing is document dot write line. First JavaScript program. Document is nothing but a form is nothing but a document. Your web form is nothing but a document. So generally in script tag I just write this line, which means that we are going to print a line in our document. The document is nothing but in our web form. So we will work with console.writeLine so far, right? So similarly here we are going to write some statement in our document, nothing but in our web form. Just I'm going to execute this one. So I got some kind of output here. Okay. So generally just go to inspect your element, means that means the click on F12, just remove, just you can check in web browser response. See, when I click here, it is available in our body section. Go to your head section, so expand your head section. So here what are the code that is available, what are the code that is there with your JavaScript that we can visualize with the help of our inspect element. Okay, which means that whatever the code that you are writing in your JavaScript, that any user can visualize your code. Okay, so means if user is about to visualize your code, which means that which is an less safety from the outside of the world, so that we won't implement so much of business functionalities with the help of our JavaScript. We just use it for the purpose of validation purpose only. We can use this. That validations, nothing will happen if other person is also going to check also, nothing will happen. But this will be very advantageous whenever we are using, whenever we are dealing with client side scripting. So that is less secure. If it is a most secure thing, if you don't want to expose this to the outside of the world, just we cannot implement that in the JavaScript. We should implement in the server side code. Server side code means .cs page code we can't visualize. Nobody can't visualize that one. We only visualize only the client side code, whatever the thing that is available with our source page, or we will call it as a design page. So in this, what are the code that is available, this can be visualized by the other users, but the code which is there for our click on F7, you'll get .cs page. The code which is available written in this page, no one can visualize. Okay, so this is the thing that which we can visualize, which we can segregate our logic whether it falls under client side or server. What the code which is written in this page, we'll call it as a server side code. The code which is written in this page, we'll call it as a client side code. This is a basic example how we'll work with an you know basic things with JavaScript. Now I want to create, I have one button So I want to execute one JavaScript function with the help of that button. Let us check how this can be achieved with the help of our JavaScript. Now I want to take one HTML button, input type equal to button, and I would like to take HTML and I would like to take value as click here. Just I will close this. If we want to declare a functions in JavaScript, we have a syntax. Use a function as a keyword. This is a predefined that you want to give function as a keyword. So just I give a name as you can give any name, get my control. So just I want to give alert my button called. Alert my button called. In order to call this function, here we have on click is an property. So in which you can call this one get control. Now I'm trying to execute this one. I have a button. When I click on this button, this will be executed. Okay. So you can check with F1 what are the code that you have at head section that is available. Function get my control. Now what I'm going to do is I want to take one server side control, means ASP button, ID equal to btn submit. Here we have a text equal to click here, and we should write run it equal to server. So from this this is my server. From this function I want to call my client side scripting. See, whenever you are clicking this function, no refresh is done. Check, there is no refresh is going to be done. Whenever you click on this, you can observe here some kind of refreshing will be done. See, the thing is, this is a server side control. This is a client side control. That means if it is a server side control, this request will hit to the server. This request will hit to the server. So once there is no code with the server, generally it returns an empty response to us. That's the reason where refresh kind of thing will be done. So now I want to call this function. So generally for this we have an attribute that on client click. So generally on click is for HTML control. On client click is for server side control. Means we are able to call client side scriptings with the help of on client click. Now I'm going to refresh this one and click on this. So now your output will come. Once first priority will be client side code. Once client side, see, when you click on this client side code will be executed, then only it will hit to the server, then only refresh is coming. Means if there is server side code, then it will process, otherwise it won't process, it just gives an output for us. In this way, so with the help of any of the controls, we are calling our client-side scripting functions. Okay. So similarly, here whatever the components which are available with the normal functions, all the components are available here. Variables, and as well as we have a program control statements like if, else, while, looping kind of things, for loop, for each, for loop kind of things, looping kind of things, and same kind of basic object-oriented principles are supported with this, and variable declarations, local variable, global variable, everything. All these things are there with the help of our JavaScript. We can work all kind of programming concept stuff with JavaScript. So exception handling, how to handle exceptions, all these things are available. So now what I'm going to do is I want to take an example with variables. So generally we have different types of data types, right? Like generally we'll call it as an integer, string, character, decimal, datetime, all the things like a byte, a bool, all those things. In JavaScript, any data will consider it as an var. Any data will consider it as an var, which means that var is a keyword which will takes data and converts the data dynamically into the native type. Why we are taking var means which is unsure what was the type of data that you are passing to a particular variable. JavaScript is unsure whatever the type of data that you are passing to a variable. So in order to make sure that your data will be integer type or your data will be string type, so at the time of assigning, script is not able to confirm. So that is the reason where it will be taken as where that variable internally it will convert a particular data to the native type. Okay. Suppose I have a variable. So my variable I want to take it as an integer. So you can consider like where a equal to 10 and see where b or name equal to JavaScript. Okay, here semicolon is optional. Whether you can use semicolon or not, that is up to us. But it is a good technique to use semicolon because most of our programming we are using semicolons, right? So just I want to display function get course name. Alright, you can write like course name is name. So name is a variable, right? This is nothing but these two are nothing but your global variables. In this button, I want to call this course name is JavaScript. So likewise, we can use with the variables. Suppose I want to take where 10.23 b equal to 10.23. You can take nothing. So where is nothing but it's a indeterminate type, means it cannot determine at the time of execution. It dynamically converts a particular value to the native type. Okay, 10.23 it belongs to floating type. Okay, it will convert to the float. If it is a 10, it belongs to integer. Likewise, it at the time of runtime it will converts. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I would like to take one form. So I would like to take one form and for that form I would like to apply some kind of functions, okay, with the help of a JavaScript, so that we can get to understand how we are going to work with JavaScript. So here this is a form. I would like to take one new form, name it as add new item, ex2. I'd like to go to the design and just I want to add an tables. So two columns two is okay. I'd like to take 6 rows. Just I want to take enter first number, enter second number, result. Here I would like to take button. I want one more button here. Okay, I measured the cells because I want a button, so that button is common. Now I want to change ID of the button. This is for btn add. Okay, here we can click on this, and I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations with the help of this client-side scripting. Sub multiplication btn multi btn division btn clear. Okay, clear. See, I want to implement a kind of functions, right? So here I would like to take a script tag. We have a shortcut key for script generation. Write script script and click 2 times tab, means double time tab key. So then automatically script tag is generated for us. Here include type equal to text of JavaScript. So here I have a five buttons. So in order to work with 5 different buttons, I need 5 different functions, right? So function add, okay, function add, where a equal to, so I want to read an input from this control. I want to read an input from this control. So here I would like to take some text box, right? So you can check text box. This is my text box, and here also I can take one more text box on the text box. Here you can check txt first number, second number txt result. Okay. So now I want to take where I want to read an input from this text box, this text box. When user clicks on this, after reading this value, I want to apply addition operation for these two values, and I will assign that value to the particular text box, result text box. This is my requirement. In order to read the data from your control, first we can use document dot get element by id. What are the elements that we have? So that id, so my id is txt first name. Okay, dot value, dot value. First we will check here on client, click equal to add. Okay, so here what we are going to check is alert value of a is I'm executing this one. I'm using 10. See, so just here I represent something, just I want to display what is the value with. So 120 minus 15. So anything that we are able to read from here. Similarly, I would like to read the value from second text box. Txt second. Now I would like to take var c equal to parse int. Means parse int is one of the function which is similar to convert.toInt32. So generally this value will be readed in the form of a string. So we are converting that into the integer. So a plus parse int of b. Okay. So now we are assigning that value to result. Dot value equal to c. Just I would like to comment this one. Ten 25. Just I'm clicking on this one. 35. Suppose 250, 260 minus 10. Okay. Likewise, we can do our operation. Similarly, now we can implement different kinds of functions. Sub mul division. Here we can use minus multiplication division. on client click equal to so this is multiplication, this is division. For clear we'll write. So now I want to clear my data. So for that I would like to use a function clear. So here I have three different text boxes. So just I'm going to assign this text box get element dot value equal to, just I'll put empty itself. So this is result txt result. So and then once after the removing of these values, we have a focus function. So the purpose of focus is when you after the clearing, our cursor will be blinks on at our first text box. For that reason I want to use that to focus. This is clear. So just I want to execute this one. So 25 I8. So I would like to add, subtract, multiplication, division. So I want to clear it off. Clear on client to click. Okay. See, which is a case sensitive, you must be very clear with this. This is small and here I will give it as a capital C. That is the reason which is not firing off. Now I click on clear. You can name it as data clear. I want to again execute this one. Add, subtraction, multiplication, division, clear. Say no. So clear is a a predefined word. Sometimes it may not recognize. So you can give something like data clear, some kind of thing. So it will call. And moreover, it is a case sensitive. It is starts with capital D. If you give small d here, it won't execute. So JavaScript is one of the case sensitive programming language. Now you can check. So your data will be cleared and your cursor will be blinks on your at first first control. That is the purpose of a focus. Focus will be blinks at your first. And here document dot get element by id means you can call any control id name here, so that we can get the information of a particular control. Okay, and as well as we have one more thing, that is nothing but document dot get element by name. So by name, what does it means? So generally here we are giving name as an attribute, only name as an attribute for HTML controls. For that purpose we can use get element by id. Say for example I want to take one of the HTML control, that is input type equal to text, consider it is a text, and name equal to ef name. So just I considered one text box here. See, you can check which is the HTML text box and which is server side. So you can click on this. So this is nothing but our HTML. First is your HTML. If you want to get that information, if you want whatever the information that they are passing to the particular text box, here you can check. In addition, we can do like so alert document dot get element by name. Our name is, you can use single quote or double quotes, no problem. F name dot value. So here I want to re-export here. I'm clicking on this one. When I click on this, so which is giving us undefined. Let us see. F name capital F, okay, capital N 20. So you can use like this of 0. Now I'm re-executing this one. Suppose if it is 25, when I click on this, you'll get 25. So value is coming from here. What does it means? Means if you're using an HTML control, in HTML control you'll pass name as an attribute. So in order to read that particular name information, we can use document.getElement by name of 0, like an array kind of thing, because this is a super class control. So that's the reason where we are going to use a 0 dot value. Okay, in this way also we will get the information. Suppose document.getElement by name is okay. If you want to get particular class names information, so if you want to give this as a class name, so class, suppose your class name is A, consider your class name is A. This is also your you can give here is a CSS class. That is the difference between your HTML and ASP.NET. If you want to access all your class names information with A, then we can use document.getElement by class names. Document.getElement by class name. So here you can pass A, and so whatever the information which is associated with these classes, all that information we can call. Likewise, most of the times we will use either document.getElement by ID or document.getElement by name. Okay, these things you'll get to know. So you should like you should make so much of multiple number of programs like this, then you'll get to know different functions which are available for reading of a data. But it is a good technique to use get element by id. If it is a multiple things to access, then you can give a class name, and so that by using the class name also we can access. Okay, and in our HTML we have one more function. So that function is, I would like to one more control, that is control name is input type equal to, we can name it as clear, or the button type control, button input type equal to reset. So reset value equal to reset. This is also one type of a button. So I would like to comment this button for time being for our server side control. Just I am trying to execute this button. I'm trying to execute this program. Suppose 23, 45, 58. I want addition. Okay, and then for this subtraction, multiplication, division, reset. Whenever we are using a reset as a function, if we are using the HTML controls in this form, automatically values inside the HTML controls will be disappeared. Values inside the HTML control will be disappeared. So let me take you a simple scenario for you. I just comment this alert. Just I'm going to execute this one. 23, 123, okay, 52, 24. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, reset. When you click on this reset, automatically all these values will be disappeared. When if all these controls are belongs to HTML controls. Okay. So in our earlier code for our ASP.NET control, we write one function data clear. But if all the form is belongs to HTML, no need to write this code, data clear code. Automatically that data will be disappeared with the help of this reset button. Okay, this also you can memorize this point. Reset button will clears all the values of our HTML control. Okay.
But
Now
though the other ones, they are not HTML controls, right? The
they are not
buttons.
they are not HTML controls. These are server side controls. That is the reason
Yeah.
which is not going to clear your values. If you want to
Okay.
clear your values of your server side controls, just you can write your own function by calling
Okay.
of your function only. Then only it will clears.
Okay.
Okay, and as well as here we can implement our conditional statements like if and like whiles and do whiles for each loop. All these things are common how we work with normal programming language. Just I want to take one new form here. So far it is clear, right?
Yeah.
So I want to take a new item, add new item, insert table with the 3 rows, enter first number, enter second number, text the first number, second number, so btn check, btn check. I'm using check. Here what my requirement is, I want to check which number is greatest one. Function check where a equal to document dot get element by id dot value. So if a greater than b, this is a if condition, like how we work with normal programming language. Similarly we can write. Alright, first number is greater than second number, else if b greater than a. Second number is greater than first number. Both numbers are equal. Okay, when I call this check as a function on client click equal to check. I'm trying to execute this one. So I'm giving 23 3. Second number is greater than first number. Suppose if I give 30, so second number is greater than first number. Suppose if I give 13, first number is greater than second number. If I give 23, no, both numbers are equal. Likewise, we will work with a conditional statement. Okay, suppose I want a kind of thing. I want to apply some kind of styles if it is greater than. So let us check. Attributes, color, 23 3. 23 and it is 3. Second number is greater than first number. Is it true? Actually, that is not true. So suppose if you want to debug your client side scripting code, this is the process. How we will debug means go to F12, go to sources, click on your source file. This is exe.aspx is our file, right? Just place your debugger here. Just you can click on this line wherever you want your debugging. So now it will get click on OK. Just When you click on this, your debugger will be coming. Just you can click F10. Value of A is 23. Okay, and value of B is 3. 23 greater than 3. So this one, B is 3. 3 greater than 23. Is it right? No, it is not right. Even though it is not right, it is giving output as false output. This is because of both will be taken as a string. So you can parse it to parse integer. So then only you can, because it is taken in double quotes. By that you can get to understand.
Okay.
So debugging in JavaScript can be done only by F12, right?
Yes, yes.
And to add the breakpoint, you just click over there.
Yeah, yeah. We can click in which line we want a debugger. That's it.
Okay, and then you can run
Yes.
from there.
Yeah, yeah. So just before going to run, you just click on F12. Otherwise, it won't. Debugger won't hit. Okay. See, I want to check here debugger. Just first step is click on F12. Okay.
Yeah.
If you mark on particular point at one time, no issues. Second time onwards, it will automatically come. Go to the source part. If it is not available means you can close it and again you can open it. Click on F12. Okay, now it is available, right? So go to your function. So you already your debugger is in place. So just you are passing 23 3. So I'm clicking on F12. So breakpoint will is coming. So this is 23. It is taking in the form of string, and B is 3. Okay, now it is going inside. Okay, it is going inside, and let us check. Here console, whatever the value that you are going to check here, just you can copy that code, like you can paste what is wrong with the statement, will get to know. Attributes, suppose color I gave, attribute is not at all taking. Okay, okay. What I'm trying to do over here is, just if it is greater than a greater than b, then I want to apply some kind of a style here, so that dot style equal to, I want to highlight my color to red. That is my requirement. And as well as I want to make it font weight to bold. I'm executing this one. So 23 3. Click on check. If you want to click F12 means it won't debug for us. Okay. What is wrong? First number is greater than second number. Okay. Color. So just you can apply that same style here. It is taking. Now it is coming, but at the time of executing it is not coming. Okay, those things I will check later and tell you. Some browsers may support, some browsers may not support. So you'll get the basic thing, right? So basically we are going to work with conditional statement like this. Okay, suppose if it is 3, and if it is 30, so you can get second number is greater than. So likewise you can use your conditional statements so in our functions with the help of your JavaScript. Okay, and as well as I want to print 1 to 10 numbers with the help of a for loop by using our JavaScript. Okay, just I want to implement that one here. I want to take for loop where I equal to 0, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. So we have a document dot write line of I. So it will starts with I, it will starts with 0 and it will ends up to 10 at the time of running a function. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that you will come. If you want next line, you can use BR. So one after one, likewise we will get an output. In this way we will work with for loop. Okay, this is a basic implementations with JavaScript. So tomorrow we will see different concepts which is related to JavaScript.